Hey guys, I just wanted to give you an update. We're a little bit behind, or a lot behind, because we ended up having a snow day right before we hit our break, and I wasn't able to catch up with my kids. So I went ahead and I spent a little bit of time this break going in and doing a couple of things. We're still going to try to get the kids to make a bunch of the stuff, but um, I wanted to give you an update just so that you could see kind of where we're at, and so that you could give feedback. I First thing, I downloaded a vegetation asset that helps to do things like populate the world with grasses and stuff. And so we've got grasses, and we can put rules in. So you see, it's not the grasses aren't showing up on the path, but they are showing up in other places, and we can pick what kind of grasses we want and other kinds of plants and everything. Also, we still have it where you can hit the button in order to turn on the map and the compass and everything. And I went ahead and I left the controllers in there for right now, but I'm thinking that we're gonna change out the controllers after the tutorial for hands. I just don't have that working yet. We do start off right in front of a big thing that has some of that content that you were talking about, and then tells people, this is going to stay here in case people need it. And then there's the button, so it tells you to press in order to open the map, the compass, and to touch the scrolls with your right hand to open and close them. They can test it out on this one, so they can go in and they can open it up and whatnot. You'll see that it does create additional objectives for you as you go through. So that's working again. Other big things that I changed. So the rest of these scrolls are basically the thing that you had before. So here's the ones for the falconry and stuff. Major changes. I went ahead and I put in the rest of your people. We don't have great animations for them right now, but you can see that we have, um, the priest guy, and we've got this other model that we didn't have before. I changed out the models that all looked like Coronado and made them all into the soldiers like you had wanted. I went ahead and I put in the different native guys that you had asked for. There still are some messed up things with their riggings and stuff. But they're in here at least. I also downloaded an asset that gave us animated horses, and so we do have the ability to have those horses move around now. In addition to doing that, I brought in the other models of your characters. So there's the captain, there's Coronado, and here's one of your other guys. And then in here, I have the separated assets that Jonathan had taken and pulled apart. So there's the pistol and there's the sword and stuff. Here's the soldier's armor, canteen, so that we can go ahead and we can do something with that at some point. The animations with the soldier guys fencing and all of that sort of stuff. We have a scroll that's over on this side. When you bring this up, it does tell you, about places that you might want to go that are of interest. So you can see that we're moving toward the blue one right there. That indicates that that's there. In addition to that, up at the top of this hill right here, we have a bunch of the native women, because you had asked to have that in a place. So they're in here with in animation. There's an indigenous guy for us, and then down in the bottom of this one, we have kind of like the soldiers and stuff palling around. And so we've got the obsidian swords just like we did before, and we have the native guys that are down here. And then over on this side, I also went ahead and I downloaded an asset that will give us, what'll look like a cotton tree, especially if we get the sizing and everything right. So when it talks about cotton and farming and everything, there's these three scrolls right here that'll tell you about cotton and farming. Um, I'm not going to run down there because it's kind of far away and it makes you a little bit sick, but hopefully you can see on the screen that there are some sticks and stuff that are down there. Those right there are cotton plants that are down in the fields, and the water is flowing the right way. It doesn't look like it's flowing from this far away, but it actually is flowing. So we do have that going on as well. And then I went ahead and I got rid of the river that they had that Zatun did. And I made my own spline for it. It needs a little bit of work, but it's I think going to be easier to manage after all is said and done. So that's kind of where we're at. I mean, we got controllers. They have the buttons that tell people what to do. We have a handful of the interactive pieces that are in here. I was gonna try to put in some of the lighting stuff. I'm gonna see if I can get one of my students to go ahead and do a little bit of work on uh, getting the tutorial thing to work. And then I'm thinking that we'll probably take the interior of one of the indigenous houses and we'll go ahead and we will populate that with some of the broken out elements that we had from their people. So one thing that did get messed up a little bit was the texturing in the world. I went for um, an asset that's going to give us nicer textures, but it overrode the textures that were in there.